The 1%. You all know who I'm talking about. Names like Bill Gates, Klaus Schwab, George Soros, Nicole Schwab, Anthony Fauci. And I would be remiss if I left out the most important person right now, Oprah Winfrey. They've all been planning something very, very big and have even teased us with just a taste of what's coming next. Mandatory lockdowns, mask mandates, climate lockdowns. Oh, and the next outbreak that is scheduled to launch in Brazil next year. The Biden administration continues to distract us with IRA and BBB. Similar to a magician's sleight of hand, the Build Back Better plan and Inflation Reduction Act are designed to do anything but. All of which in cahoots with the Fed, U.S. Treasury, Congress, Jerome Powell, Elizabeth Warren, Mitch McConnell, Janet Yellen, an intricate and complex, elaborate design to collapse, to strip Americans of not only their wealth, but their freedoms too. And the clock is ticking. We are in the red zone now, and it's time for our hurry-up offense. People walking around with passports proving that they got their jab with the poison juice, and rumors that they are biological ticking time bombs carrying this C-19 super strain, potentially deadly, a population ending or at least reducing, spreaders of long-form Rona, and a lot of people recently complaining of getting ill with flu-like symptoms all over social media. And I'm seeing this more in the last few days with increased talks of possible mandates, masks, protocols, NPI, non-pharmaceutical intervention, and lockdowns are coming. Which begs the question, did these Pfizer injections cause more harm than good? What really caused Damar Hamlin's and Bronny James's cardiac arrest? Why did Mitch McConnell freeze twice on TV? And what is this that I'm hearing about that is about to happen on October 2nd? That's literally just a few weeks away. Is there something else that I need, or should we all be getting prepared for? Do I need to get ready and prep for something else now too? They even got me concerned for my dog, since the vax movement is coming for pets now too. I almost just don't even want to leave the house anymore, or turn on the TV, or listen to the news for that matter, because it's a constant onslaught of problems, terrible news, disaster, conflict, division, misinformation, lies, half-truths, and now, apparently, according to Tucker Carlson, we are counting down the days until we are at full-out war. DEFCON 5. A hot war at that. So, expect Joseph R. Biden Jr. to send another $40 billion to Ukraine for additional aid. But I think this war has been domestic for quite a while now, don't you? I mean, it has been years since there's even been a glimpse of affordable housing, and the idea of buying cheap, affordable land is nothing but a pipe dream now. Like seeing that fourth stimulus check, or discovering a real unicorn, or even getting a glimpse of Bigfoot. Yeah, not gonna happen. But side note, aliens are real. Or at least UFOs are real, and that's been confirmed. And Zillow confirmed that they are now rolling out their latest coup, a reverse housing market crash, land grab in the making. 1% down for home purchases. And this after Biden calls China's economy a ticking time bomb, with a long list of countries about to suffer from the Evergrande collapse, leaving a burning pile of homeless Rent is the only option. Tired of being broke? Home ownership is not an option. Wiped out middle-class Americans in its wake, creating a Burning Man-like society where we no longer have money and instead barter and trade for our basic needs and survival. And it was further explained to me by someone who asked that their identity remain anonymous, that only those who continue on as, in essence, slaves to the system will receive their mark, and only those folks will be allowed to make purchases using a digital bank currency controlled and manipulated by central banks. This great reset will represent a hell on earth scenario of fallen angels walking the streets amongst man as the death toll rises and millions of others sustain injuries whilst just trying to protect their families and property. Stock up now before Biden's steel tariffs send shockwaves through the mainstream media outlets and lead the super progressives to impose their liberal agenda to ban brass and create shortages of not only food, water, sunlight, and clean air, but also freedom seeds too.
So in 2019, President Donald J. Trump at the time, implemented a 25% tariff on steel. And people are saying right now that if Biden would just lift that tariff, that the economy would see a reduction in inflation by 1.3 percentage points, I think is how they phrased it, 1.3 percentage points. And that in theory, Americans would start to see like an $800 a year savings, right? But let's look at this realistically. Let's say Biden was like, you know what, we don't need these tariffs anymore. We'll go ahead and get rid of them, even though the steel workers may enjoy them because I think it's supposed to help them in some way, shape, or form. I don't know that much about tariffs. I got to do a little research there. But if Biden were to lift these tariffs on steel and aluminum, why do people think that it's going to be passed on to us as consumers? Once a business has its price set and is doing what it's doing, is making the money, just because a tariff is listed and they can pay less for their product doesn't mean they're going to turn around and lower the cost of their products for you and I, because they don't care about you and I. It's about profit over people. It's about what goes in their back pockets, what goes to their stockholders, shareholders, whatever you want to call it. So lifting a tariff, honestly, in my personal opinion, probably isn't going to help anybody at all in the long run, except for the manufacturers or the businesses that use the steel and aluminum products. It's not going to benefit you and I.
I know I'm not going to let them leave me stranded. Are you? So these mortgage companies are pulling out all the stops and getting very creative in their clever strategies to further destroy the dwindling affordable housing market, and the people barely scraping by as it is and are likely next to be targets of bank foreclosure in another land grab during this recession. So I just read an article that explained how there are several lenders, including Zillow, who are offering 1% down payment mortgages to encourage home buying, especially among those who typically may not be able to afford it. And if you don't mind me sharing this article with you and these facts and insights from the articles that I read, just let me know, drop a comment. I thought it would be very helpful and save you time so that you can just listen to what is happening and stay in the know and be aware and better prepared. I also came across another article that explains how to monetize the use of Threads, Meta's new social media app built by the Instagram team for sharing text updates and joining public conversations, that teaches you how to make money online and generate passive income through simple uploads and getting monetized. So if that's something that interests you, then just let me know and I'll tell you guys all about it and how to get started making some extra money. But like I said, Zillow and several other lenders are offering 1% down payment mortgages to encourage home buying, especially among those who typically may not be able to afford it. But there's a problem. There's a problem with this program because it allows buyers to put down only 1% of the home's price, with the lender covering the rest. And Zillow is also offering an alternative where buyers can put down 3% and Zillow covers the remaining 2%. So while this aims to help home buyers, it raises concerns about financial responsibility, especially for those with limited incomes. Zillow's latest move into mortgage lending comes after their unsuccessful attempt in the iBuyer business. So there isn't much confidence to draw inspiration from based on recent history. And they claim it's to assist homebuyers and expand their revenue streams. However, critics argue that such programs could lead to financial instability for buyers whom are not entirely qualified or ill-prepared for home ownership. And this home ownership has literally very little, if any, skin in the game at 1% of the purchase price down. So in order to qualify for Zillow's 1% mortgage, buyers must meet income limits and take a first-time home buyer course. Oh, and have at least a minimum 620 credit score. And the article suggests, so that you guys know, it's not just my unbiased opinion here, that this program could contribute to future foreclosures, especially if the economy weakens and interest rates continue to rise, which, according to pretty much every economist, that's likely going to happen. And don't let me forget, the article discusses the impact of wealthy individuals buying properties during the low interest rate period and potential issues faced by those who intended to convert their properties into short-term rentals for Airbnb and VRBO or Verbo single night stays, arguably wrecking lower price and affordable housing options for millions of struggling American families across the country. Oh, and it also highlights the rising expenses of home ownership, including property taxes and insurance, with the biggest concern right now being flood insurance, and not just for homeowners either, renters too. And the article concludes by advising renters in flood-prone areas to consider purchasing flood insurance, as renters insurance typically doesn't cover flood-related damages. But I want to know what you guys think. Will Zillow's new 1% down payment program actually work? Will it help buyers get into homes and secure a mortgage, or is it just a disaster in the making? Are they trying to find a way to backdoor into more of a land grab? Or is it too little, too late? Seeing as how high home prices have gone up since the start of the pandemic and how expensive real estate is in general. And also how much it costs to maintain a home and the crazy high prices insurance companies want you to pay to replace your roofs or see your policy premiums skyrocket, or worse, get dropped, canceled, terminated, or receive a non-renewal notice in the mail. State Farm, Allstate, Progressive, Geico. They all be like, yeah, we flew a drone over your house and we don't like what we see, so you're done. And what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the other looming threats potentially coming our way? What do you recommend that we do first in order to get ready and prep before shit hits the fan, like shit really hits the fan? Is stocking up and stockpiling a top priority? Is it a major concern, or is it something else that we should be focusing on right now? Now, I do have a few ideas in mind and some changes that we are making, including moving to a more secure and sustainable place where we could potentially grow our own food and stock supplies. And if you guys are interested, I can share more of these tips with you in another video. I really do look forward to reading your comments. Stay safe.